This podcast is powered by The Plug. The Connect with Graffiti.
Once again, it's The Connect with Graffiti. I'm back in the building. Got another good one for y'all. So this one, man, this one kind of came out of left field. You know what I mean? Bro hit me up like, hey, man, appreciate what you're doing. I've been following you. And I'm like, word? Because I've been following you.
Let's mutual love, man.
Yeah, let's connect. So I got my guy Vino in the building. Vino, what's up, man?
Hey, man, just chilling, man. I'm glad we're finally able to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it was long overdue. So I was like, let me hit my mans and see what's good with it. Yeah,
Make it work.
Definitely,
so I call you Vino, but let the people know your actual name that I be fucking up.
So my name is Vitorio. But it's actually kind of crazy because, like, you can pronounce it in different ways. So, like, I have an Italian name, you know. So in Italy, they would say Vitorio.
Vitorio.
Yep.
All right, I got it.
But in, like, American, you know, way of saying it, people would be like Vitorio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, Vitorio is how I say it.
Yeah.
But, you know.
You even say it with the... You know what I mean?
You got, you know, you got to, but yeah.
So for the people out there listening who may not know who you are, just let them know a little bit about yourself.
I'm a creative, you know. I definitely love music, don't get me wrong. But I don't even try to box myself into just being like an artist or rapper or whatever, because I love fashion. I love modeling, you know what I'm saying? I love wine, you know. I make wine, actually. Me and a business partner started up a wine label. Well, I actually had it before, and then he kind of like let me break down the story.
Hold up, before we break down the story, I gotta ask you because I forgot my number one question, man.
Yeah.
How's your mental?
Yeah, mental is really good. I just, you know, nonstop work, and sometimes that can pull you in different places mentally. But at the end of the day, I know, like, I'm living a purposeful life, and I guess that also plays well on my mental as well. Like, I know I'm giving to society, you know, like...
You're working with intention, not just working to be busy.
Exactly, intention. It really... and I feel like that goes back into success, too. It's just, like, leaving your mark, but how can you leave a mark in your way, and then talking to the people that may connect to you, you know what I'm saying, and like getting that message across. Like I said, I hopped into wine just because, well, the real reason my godmom actually got me into wine, because I'm not a big like hard liquor drinker.
Gotcha.
And she was like, try it, like you may like it. So when I tried it, I was like, I love this. And there's like wine, there's so many characteristics to wine, you know what I'm saying, from the smell, the texture, how it's like made, you know, it's art. So that's why I connected to it. And I also seen that like not only like is wine like a older person type of thing,
like a more mature type of,
you know, more mature. I wanted to bring it to the youth, but not only that, people of color, you know what I'm saying, because not a lot of people of color know anything about wine or are in the wine industry, you know what I'm saying. So I was like, this is perfect because this is an opportunity to bridge the gap and to show my people that, yo, we can be in this space too, and you know, succeed as well. So it's just like that keeps my mental right. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing there's something that I can attach to on a personal level, but then also like see it outside of myself and see how I can help other people within the space while also like having fun with it and like creating within it myself.
And that to me is success, bro.
Yeah.
To be able to package all those things together.
You feel
like
me?
You got a purpose, intention, you enjoy it, profitable. That's success.
Yes, you know, and it's bigger than you. It's something bigger than you, and that's always been my biggest thing. Is like I always love creating something and then having somebody be like, I connect with that. Like that's dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it might not even have to be like directly relating. It can just be like I've witnessed that. You know, I've heard someone go through that. Like those are the things that really like keep me alive.
So man, let's talk about wine. We got to talk about the wine. It's a lot, you know, the artistry, the music. We'll get to all that, but wine, man. So I recently stopped drinking hard liquor too. You
Yeah.
know, occasional shot of tequila on a birthday or something like that.
Celebratory.
But I had
Yeah.
to really chill, especially on dark liquor and all that, man.
I
Just
feel that.
it's not good for us. And so I was like, there got to be something though, like you know, like
There gotta be some,
Like-
and that's the thing too.
Yeah.
I enjoy wine because it's not that high in alcohol either.
Right.
But it will get you bent. You have a couple glasses.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It'll
You'll-
get you toe up.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, and don't quote me, because I've heard different things about wine. Because some people say it gives them like a mad headache.
yeah.
You know, like or
When I
like-
initially, so that's what I was gonna get to. So like, I had to actually, I got to credit my wife. She gonna watch this and be like, "You lying?" I had to. Let me tell the truth. So I started drinking white wine,
yeah.
just because I like sweet, and it was just so
Oh,
sweet.
yeah.
But then I was like, I feel like this is counterproductive to me trying to like be healthy. You know what I mean? So she put me on to red wine, and I hated it at first because of
Really?
that reason. I would get a
Okay.
headache. I'm like, yo, this is like, it's dry. It's
Yeah.
But then as I started to educate myself about the different types of
Right,
wine,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
like, oh, there's different. Okay, let me try a Malbec or a Pinot Noir, which are now my
Yeah,
favorites,
yeah,
versus I was drinking this
Cabernets,
cab, or you know what I mean.
yeah,
And now
Cabernets.
I'm like, okay. And so
Yeah.
I'm in my little bag, and so when people come over or whatever, you know, before everybody just getting bent, we got the Hennessy and Ciroc and all
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'm like-
I have my cup of red wine, and everybody's roasting me because they're like,
Yeah.
bro, what you think
Hey.
you are? But wine comes with like a certain, for one, maturity,
Yes.
and a elegance.
Yeah, it does. It
People look
does.
at you differently, like, oh, you're somebody. You drink wine.
You know, it's like, yeah, exactly. And that's what I love too. That's what I love. It's definitely like a standout thing.
Yeah.
And I've always been that my whole life. I never really followed the crowd at all. But to get back to what you were saying, wine is just its own embodiment. I don't like people you sometimes trying to call it off as like a woman thing, but no, it's very complex. Like there's a lot of depth to wine, from where it's grown, the type of grape, the soil. Like I said, to me, it's art, you know, and it just there's nothing that really competes to me. And don't get me wrong, like I love, like, you know, your whiskeys, like, because you know I've gotten into old fashions recently, but at the same time, it's like with like the whiskeys, like the tequilas and all that, like you can
Scotch.
definitely sip on it, but I'm always seeing people like chase it with something.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? But with wine, you just pour up a glass, you know what I'm saying, and it kind of gives you all the textures you need. You know what I'm saying? You're not. And the thing about my wine too, because yes, when you're talking about, I like the sweeter wines.
Yeah.
So if you have this is
Yeah. So yeah. What we got on the table, man?
this is a Zinfandel, and to me that's a neutral. And a lot of people say like it's refreshing. It has like it's very sweet. I wouldn't say very sweet, but it has a sweet texture to it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people love this wine. This is like our best hitter. This is one that we collaborate with Balustrade Vineyard. They're
Yep.
actually north of Denver. So we collaborated with them on this particular Zinfandel. And then we have like different ones at our vineyard as well. And then we also source grapes from like AAA Vineyard as well. So we got grapes and stuff coming in from everywhere.
Yeah, let's talk about that part. So I was gonna ask, man. So it's rare that I meet somebody that makes wine. I know people that make vodkas.
Yeah.
Everybody got a vodka. That's not, you know what I mean? That's not hard to do. And no knock to none of my vodka homies. Y'all get your money, but it's very easy to get into the vodka game. It's damn near white label. But wine is just, like you said, there's textures, there's artistry to it. You got to actually care about what you're producing. So let's talk about kind of the process of.
But don't get me wrong. And exactly, there's
Yeah.
bad wines. Like I was gonna say too with this, there's no sulfites or additives to this wine. So the fermentation process, we literally let the grapes do what the grapes are gonna do. See, I don't know which wine you had that was sweet, but a lot of people do put like a lot of stuff in wine to make it taste a certain way or give it a certain texture to it.
Right.
some of it's poison. I've read articles where they're putting like antifreeze in wine and all kinds of just crazy stuff, like getting callbacks. So it's wild. So not all wines are great wines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's definitely, you have to have some integrity. You should keep your integrity in this game, but, you do have people who are just trying to really bottle some stuff up and get it going. And that's another thing with me. I'm a real creative, and anything that I like touch, I would say, I really want to like truly learn from the bottom up. So to me, it's really not even like a profit type thing with the wine. I mean, eventually when you're running a business, of course, that's what your overall thing is. But I truthfully just want to like learn it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like wine is me, but also within saying that, I wouldn't say like I'm gonna build a whole career off of being like a sommelier and like, being hella professional with it. I want to learn it like through my vein, just like authentically, and that day will come where I, do testing and become like.
That's also why it appeals to the culture too, because you could tell that it's coming from the culture.
Yeah, you know what I'm
like
saying?
Your energy. That's how I found out about you. I'm looking at wine content and stuff like that. And since we landed there, we could talk about that too. You are a content creator.
Yep.
Definitely go ahead and plug how we can look at your show on YouTube.
So I got a show called Wine Wednesday with Vino, and that's honestly where a lot of this started. Was I had lived in Atlanta for a little bit and came back to Colorado. And when I was out in Atlanta, I was working with Quality Control, the label. My aunts worked up there, so I was like doing engineering sessions because I went to school at LA Film, Los Angeles Film School and Recording. Got my degree in engineering. Came back here for a little bit, then went out to Atlanta. Was at QC, like basically like a runner almost, like fetching like food. We had a radio segment basically at Moog B's radio station. And if you don't know who Moog B is, he's D4L and D4L.
Yep.
So he had a whole radio station out there. We had a segment on Tuesdays called Free Game ATL. And we'd go, it's right across the street from Street Execs in Atlanta. So we'd go out there all the time, have our segment, and we'd have like different layers to our like radio show. We'd have like a comedian on there. I would be the rapper and I would just be spitting. Then my boy Cole would do like some financial literacy. My aunts were kind of like the loud comical ones on there, you know what I'm saying? And then my boy Don D, he was a DJ and he also produces too, but he was like, he just kept the hype. Like he had real DJ personality, just like radio show host, like charisma. So we had it all like done up. And then I came back here just cause like I went to Morehouse, but I wasn't even officially enrolled in Morehouse. So
I just went to Morehouse.
I went cause my partners was up at Morehouse.
Got you.
And, like my aunts was already telling me to like come to Atlanta and move down there. So I was like, bet. And my boys was going down there. And I was like, bump it. I'm going to just go to class with y'all. And like the teachers didn't even care because they was all like, they were like, you're coming to school more than kids
More
who
than
actually who are enrolled.
Yeah.
So we don't care. So I was actually going to class with them, taking their quizzes and tests. And they would grade it, and I would actually be doing, well, it was wild, but, it obviously didn't count. I didn't get, graduate or anything, but it was fun. It was a fun process. So I was down there, came back to Denver and was like, I need an image, you know what I'm saying? I knew I could rap, but I didn't have like a brand with me, know, and I was staying with my godparents for a little bit. And that's when my godmom got me on the wine. So I started sipping wine, and we started having, like, my godbrothers and I started having people over on, like, Wednesdays. And we would always have wine and, like, play games and do something. So I was like, I'm going to start this, like, podcast where I'm going to interview women. And basically, I wanted to have a podcast where I can explain myself and I can interview, I can interview someone who was involved in anything. Basically, that was a woman though, but it could have been like art. Like I've interviewed a chef, stylist, singer, all the above I've had on the show, and basically just ask them like what got them inspired, what motivates you, how is it being a woman in today's time, what are challenges that you face, and where are you at currently and where do you see yourself going? And I wanted to just create a platform that gave women a shine, you know what I'm saying? Allow them to like, kind of get their stuff off and promote themselves and talk about, what kind of got them going and, allow them to speak on how they feel about today's nature. You know what I'm saying?
So for one, the concept is brilliant.
Thank you.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When I first watched it, I was like, conversations with women over a glass of wine, you ain't low. I see you. This is player.
And I'm glad you said that because that was all in what I was trying to do too. I want to bring back real relationships. I feel like we're in a time where we're so on our phone. It's disingenuous. People are not doing things for the love. So also it's subliminally showing like me and a woman can have a conversation over a glass of wine and be very present with one another. It's not like it's, just on the phone or, just worried about shit that doesn't matter. This is, so I wanted to show that as well. Make dating cool again. Make just being present in the moment. Cool again, you know what I'm saying? Especially with an opposite gender, like, let's talk, and that's why I asked, like, how do you feel? How do you feel in today's time? What do you think, like, men can do better with? What would you like to see better with women? Just everything so, like, we can know as men what to do. Because I feel like that's, like, the biggest disconnect. Is the communication, you know what I'm saying? And I like the setting that I have it in where it is dating. So it's like
it
everything's
feels
soft,
very classy, soft, smooth, romantic. And that's the thing. That's when we talk about the characteristics of wine. Wine is a very conversational drink. I don't know what it is, but it does make you just want to be engaged with the conversation. You just got your glass sipping, talking. Yeah. So it's perfect for a podcast for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why everything with me is like I'm very in depth, you know what I'm saying? So that's what really like the wine is just like it's almost like my alter ego almost, and I guess that's why I even go by Vino too. It's just like the elements of wine is kind of like how I see myself, you know. It's just like you're not supposed to just drink it fast. You're supposed to sip it slow and get a full understanding. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm a simple man, but I'm also complex too within that same vein. So, that's...
Man, Bruce Lee said, be like water. My man said, be like wine.
Be like wine, yes.
I'm gonna be Vino.
You know what I'm saying?
That's hard, man. So, moving forward a little bit, let's talk about... So, to prefix this real quick. So, just our off mic conversations as we were interacting before this interview was set up. I had said something about artists. Like, I put it out there in the air, man, because I get so many rappers specifically.
I'm already knowing
that hit me up, and I'm like, man, y'all gotta have a story. You gotta have some substance. You gotta be talking about something. Like, if you just make music, man, I can't interview you just because you make music. All you're gonna do is everybody just makes music. You feel me? So, like, what's the story? What's your catch? What are you doing for the community? How are you uplifting the culture? How are you pushing it forward? So, bro hit me up like, look, had a professional bio. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, this is the prototype of when I would interview an artist.
Hey, love him.
You feel me?
I appreciate you having me.
Didn't come at me with the yo, bro, check my music, put me on, none of that, man. So I want to thank you for that. For your professionalism.
Thank you,
what I mean?
Always.
But then now we can get
into the music. So music has always been my thing. As you could tell, I got the Michael Jackson pin. But Michael Jackson, I would say, started it all for me. That was the first person I saw as a kid and was like, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? And getting in touch with music, like even comprehending music and what that is, you know, seeing him with like just the charisma he had on stage presence, him dancing. That just like got me into music heavily. And then, I had an older brother. He's my uncle, but he's like an older brother to me. He's only like 6 years old because I was raised with like my granny.
Okay.
And that's when I started getting more into hip hop. And like, it's crazy enough, like Bow Wow was the one who I would say inspired me to pursue like music young. But I didn't know fully if I wanted to be like a musician. But I had fun with like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He was a kid, so I'm like looking at, and he was older than me at the time. But I was like, damn, it's like a kid doing this shit. Like, this is hard. And then my dad, who raised me, he had mad music. You know what I'm saying? My mom was a music head too. But I remember I got like a Walkman for Christmas, and then the Blueprint one was like the first album that I really was like, what is this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is crazy. Who is this?
Yeah.
It was Jay-Z. I was like, damn. So that was like kind of like my introduction. And then of course like Granny always played like Al Green, Marvin Gaye,
Soul,
Isley Brothers, the Blackbirds, you know, just like jazz, you know, influence, all that type of stuff. So all within me while I'm learning it. But then my actual like first time recording, my aunt, I used to be around my aunt a lot, and my aunt was very young. Like she was still like in high school when I was like a kid. She was like exiting high school. But so we're from Park Hill.
Okay.
And you know, she within high school she would date, you know, the local gang members and stuff like
course.
that.
As soon as you said Park Hill, I know where you were going with it.
And she would have me around, and she'd have me around these guys. And my uncle BR, he's like a local Denver legend, and he would bring me to the studio. You know what I'm saying? And he would have me around his like friends, like Ty Bud, Fat Rat, like just all the guys in the neighborhood, and they would like throw me in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, you about to rap. So like that's when I like really started rapping. You know what I'm saying? And then I always like carried it. You know, I always like would rap. I would play sports, but I would rap. Then like I shoot up to high school, and then I'm like trying to decide if I want to like carry on with the sports or carry on with like entertainment. And I was like, let me go the entertainment route, because I love, like, I thought I was good at sports, but I was like great at entertainment.
Yeah.
So I was like the entertainment, high school. I went to Cherry Creek. Mom's was like, we is not having you at
I was going to say, how you from
yeah,
Park Hill
yeah,
went
yeah.
to Cherry Creek?
Nah, Mom's was, we moved around a lot, but
Gotcha.
Mom's was like, Mom's definitely was not having it, because we moved from Park Hill and then we went to Aurora for a little bit, but even I would have went to like Gateway or whatever. But Mom's was not having it, so we used my granny's address till we moved over by my granny, and then that's when I like went to Creek and stuff like that, because she was just like, I'm not having
Take you out of this
Yeah,
atmosphere.
period. Yeah. Even though, like, because, like, honestly, all my cousins wasn't as fortunate as me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get to, like, go to, like, the better schools. And, like, a lot of them are in bad situations. You know what I'm saying?
Environment makes a difference.
It really does, man. So I thank Mom Dukes for that, because I do enjoy education. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one of those guys that just, like, wants to flex being hard or just, like, ignorant and just, like, oh, you know, I'm out here. You know, nah, like, I appreciate it, because it got me this far. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I can, you know, produce wine, you know, file LLC correctly, like, you know, just a whole lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, that right there though, that it's good to hear you say that, because let's make being smart cool.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like
I hung around the smart kids.
Yeah.
Like, that was the thing, because when I was at home and like around my cousins, it was like the rah-rah, the riff-raff. So like when I got over there, it was all like, no, I need to be around the people who got, because one, like the schools I went to, people had money. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about it, and this is why I enjoyed it, and I mean, at the end of the day, I was entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but it got me to certain places. Like, they loved that I was like one of the only black kids, you know, or among the few, because I still kept it me, you know, but I was rapping. And like kids was like trying to be cool with me just because how I rapped, how I dressed. I was a popular one amongst them. You know what I'm saying? So it was like they living in these mansions. I remember these kids' parents are like pay for a mountain trip with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I would go to the mountains and they would comp it. I would like stay over their house for like weeks upon end and everything handled, paid for. My mom would be like, what is going on? Like, where are you at? I was like, I'm at the homie crib. Like his parents don't care. You know? So it was cool. And then like, in high school, it was dope, bro. I would like go to parties and like people would literally be like, shut up, Tori's here. And like he's about to rap. And people would literally like quiet down. And I would just like bust verses, and I would literally like every week just write verses because I knew there was a party that weekend, and just to get my verses off. And then I started dropping songs on SoundCloud, and like people, that was when it like got crazy.
People started to gravitate for real.
Yeah, like I was coming to school and people was bumping my stuff, like coming on the campus. I would hear my music being blared at school. I was like, damn, like this shit's actually getting wild. And
all of what you just said though, there's a bigger message with that, because of course there's systemic things at play. Like you said, like I like that you highlighted some of your cousins weren't as fortunate. Environment makes a difference.
It definitely does.
But when I say let's make being smart cool again, it's because of that. All of those doors open up because you're authentically just being you. And just saying, hey, I like education. I can still be entertaining. I can still be from the hood. But I don't have to be a tough guy.
I don't have to be a tough dude. Man, you know what I'm saying? And I don't get it twisted too. Like I still will defend myself. I do all the mechanical things of what it takes to be a man. Like I used to box, you know what I'm saying? I go to the gun range to make sure I can tactically, you know, be equipped and know how to handle a firearm. So it's not like, that's what I feel like black men, especially, I want them to get out of their mindset. Like you have to be gangsta to be a man. It's like, no, you could still have like, you can still carry a gun, carry it professionally. You know what I'm saying? Get your license, carry a firearm, take training on how to use that firearm properly. You know, take fighting classes, and you're still a badass. You know, a man to be reckoned with. Like still, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to go by, you know, being a detriment, being a menace to society. Like you could still be a firm, confident man that's standing on business. Like without all that extra, without going to jail,
none of that,
putting your family through all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that, because like even the dad who raised me, like he was at the crib till I was about 12. You know what I'm saying? But even though he wasn't like there either, he still just like, he was always in the streets. You know what I'm saying? And he went to prison, got out, and now he's like a journeyman's lineman, and they make $250,000 plus a year. And I respect my dad because like he taught me everything about the streets, but every reason not to get involved. And like when I see his story, it was like true survival. You know what I'm saying? Like he had to choose the streets because situations that he was brought upon, that it's like, I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But my dad always stressed education. My dad was always smart. Like he's a journeyman's lineman. I don't know if you. That is a person.
Explain that a little bit.
That's a person who like your power lines, like
got you.
Like those big electric towers that you see that's connecting power and stuff like that in the city. Like he said, he builds that. He puts that up. Very dangerous job. Very, very dangerous job. You have to be smart. And that's what I loved about my pop. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, he gangster, you know what I'm saying? But this dude is very smart.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you straight up. And if you listen and watch this podcast, you will know some of the most educated individuals I've ever met are the most gangster individuals. Education is really gangster for real when you think about it.
It is.
Because having that knowledge to be able to be resourceful, to maneuver, to protect yourself, like you're way smarter than you think. And that's what I tell these young dudes out here. Wow, like, man, if you use some of that smarts that you just used to get into that, you know, break into that crib.
Literally.
Come on, man.
Come on. And that's what I be saying. Because again, like my dad, and he told me, he was like, he got out of prison. He didn't know what he was going to do. He was all like, I think his uncle put him on to being a journeyman's lineman and messing with being like electrician or whatnot. Well, they're two different things, but in that area. But I remember him telling me, he was like, I was literally, if they didn't call me back for the job, he said he was about to go back, but he went to the job, and like I salute him, because it's like to a lot of people don't get out of that rut of like going in and out of prison. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the fact that like he can get out and like really make something of himself, because some people even get out and they still can't make anything. But to get out of prison and still make $250,000 a year,
Because he's smart.
exactly. So I've always championed that, and that's always what my dad. I remember coming up, my dad would make me read. Like read. I remember the school would have you read like 30 minutes and you had to get your parents' signature. My dad would buy like the sources, like a lot of like books, and I would have to read more. And I think that translated even to my music. Because when people like hear my music, like you're very descriptive, you have a lot of adjectives, like I can really
Very in-depth vocabulary.
Yeah, you know. And I have to thank my dad for that.
That's fine.
Just because it's due to reading. You know what I'm saying? Like always reading. So again, my dad comes into play. I'm about to graduate high school. Well, I'm like junior year, you know, sophomore, junior year. And he's all like, where are you going to college? And I was just all like, I want to rap. Like, I'm about to be music. He's like, I don't know no college that has rap scholarships.
Yeah. What you mean?
He's like, rap. He's like, where do they have rap scholarships? He's like, no, I'm not going for it. He's all, you can do that, but you need something else. So find something within music that you can do. And I was all like, well, shit, I want to be in, you know, I need to know how to engineer, because nobody knows how to, or they're charging an arm and a leg for it. So he was like, they got some schools out in California. And at that time, like I'm from here, but I would go back and forth between Mom Dukes and my pops.
Yeah.
When I went out there, we like visited some colleges. I found LA Film School. Went to school out there, did the engineering thing. I would say I was distracted. I had a girlfriend at the time.
Yep.
And I really should have been really just how I am now then. But I was just on my phone, FaceTime and boo. You know what I'm saying? And I really, like, looking back, I just really felt like I could have got a little bit more out of California than I did when I was out there.
Yeah.
But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, it's retrospect now. I mean, now you got that knowledge, you got the resources, and you gain that experience while you were out there. So with that, we fast forward to now, man.
Yeah.
Projects out right now.
Projects out. So I basically went out to New York and did a whole documentary called Texture Settings, NYC. And Texture Settings is also like a company that I'm in the curation with right now. And it's basically like a media entertainment company that is basically bringing all the textures, you know. So for my Wine Wednesday, like the events, it usually has like a wine pairing with food. Then I'll have a painters come and like live paint, and
That's fire.
we'll do like an auction with whatever they paint. Last one we had them paint on the wine bottle, and then we auctioned off the bottles. And then I'll have like a som there giving information about the wine, why it's paired with the food, and then I'll have two R&B singers kind of open up for me, and then I'll end it on the headline. But it's like just textures, you know what I'm saying? Different varieties of art.
I see what you did there, man. That's all on brand. Texture, wine,
you know what I'm saying?
Art.
So
even your textured settings, even just all the history that you just gave us of where you've been and how you came up and how you've traveled, it all makes sense. I see it.
Do you feel me? So, because I'm more than like a art, you know, a rapper.
Yeah.
So it's just like I want to give you good food, because I call myself a chef, but if I didn't do entertainment, I would.
In culinary arts.
Literally, I love cooking. So that all bleeds into my artistry too. Like, it's more than just music. It's cooking, it's food, it's good time, it's, you know, the velour seatings. Like, I'm all about the textures and just the vibes and the little details, you know.
That's fire,
so I went out to New York with those guys, and one actually lives in New York now, and did a whole documentary and album just on like being out in New York, and like from the how they dress to what they're drinking to the food. Like, texture is culture, essentially. I even do a Texture Settings Toronto documentary as well, where I'm out there for Caravana. This is like a couple years back too, but I'm just like, you know, getting all, you know, the West Indies.
So are you planning on making or not planning on, because it sounds like you're doing it textured settings. Like, is it a series?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. And it won't always, like this one, I was just in New York for a long time.
Got you.
So I made like a whole documentary plus an album that went
Gotcha.
with it. And that's what this actually is. So it's like because what I wanted to do too is take it back. Back in the day when you used to buy a CD, you would have a
You
pamphlet
open up
in
the
it.
album art,
You know what
look
I'm
through
saying?
the track
So
credits.
I wanted to give that that feel back. So
bring it in a little bit for the camera.
oh yep.
Yeah.
So just have the experience in New York.
Something tangible too.
Some tangible to people to have. This is me when I'm like in Harlem. That's my boy Aaron, my producer Carter, who like produced a lot of the records on this album.
And this comes with the album.
Yes.
Okay.
What I have is in the back. There's a QR code.
Got you. Okay.
Where you can see the documentary and then also listen to the album.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's fire, man. So
Thank you, Phil.
we're about to wrap up, but just let people know how they can find you, how they can hear that music, how they can watch the show, how they can get some of this here. You know what I'm saying? Some zen.
So to reach me, you can reach me at www.ivitorio.com, personal website. You can also reach me at Vitorio1500 on Instagram. That is VITORIO1500. That's my Instagram. YouTube is just plain Vitorio or Vitorio303 at Vitorio303. Again, that is VITORIO. Some people like to put the C in my name. I do not know why it is not Victorio. It is Vitorio. And yeah, the music's on the website, the wine's on the website. Definitely check it out. I got a lot of good stuff on there. I got texture settings pamphlets. There's only 500 that I'm like releasing of this pamphlet.
Okay.
So it is definitely getting the time is getting shut off. I think I got 300 out there thus far.
That's good.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then
That's
once
fire.
those are out, then no more, just to let the people have their kind of prized possession and
that's
keep
fire.
it that way. But yeah, Vitorio,
My man, Vitorio.
Vitorio.
Appreciate you, brother.
Hey, all
Yes,
day,
sir,
family.
man.
Thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
having me.
No doubt. It's Connect. I'm Graffiti.
Yes, sir.
Out.
We out.